Hello everyone. Hello everyone, my name is Kevin and welcome back to a new HarstemCast. Today we're going to be having a look at a game played on the top right spawning as the red Terran player. It's going to be SouL. And in the bottom left spawning as the blue Protoss player, it's going to be Stats. Now this is a game played from the most recent Stay at Home Story Cup as well. This is a game that a lot of people said, this is great. And I say, okay, if this game is great, I'm gonna have a quick look at it. So, some Pillars of Gold game from the bracket stage. SouL played extremely well in the group stages and ended up in the bracket stage where his first opponent was Stats. Now, I think Stats and SouL played once before in an Intel Extreme Master Katowice, I want to say in 2018. And back then, SouL actually beat Stats with some, I want to say it was a 2-Rex and some other weird build. SouL tends to have styles and build orders that are kind of out there, honestly. They're not the standard, at least, and that's important to know. He is someone that likes to switch it up, and if you're not familiar with his style, it can be very, very tricky to actually beat him. But once you figure out his patterns, or you kind of know what his style is going to be, it becomes a lot easier. Even though his mechanics are good, his game knowledge is good, it just seems like sometimes his actual gameplay is a little bit suboptimal, and he just plays that way because he wants to get some type of edge. We see Stats opening up with a, I was gonna say a Zealot, but he just started the Zealot in case perhaps something, maybe an eBay was starting at his natural. It's gonna just go into a standard core first, into a Nexus, and then a Pylon at 21 over here. On the other hand, we have SouL opening up with what seems to me like a Reaper expand, just a regular good old Reaper expand. I'm curious to see what his follow-up is going to be, but so far just looking very, very standard for both players. The SCV scout comes in, sees a Pylon, sees a Nexus at your regular timing. Oh, sorry, this was not a regular Reaper expand, this was a Marine into Reaper expand. Okay, this is the type of build that is very reliant on your opponent seeing the Marine, then going, oh, that's a Marine first, not a Reaper. And then afterwards, basically sending out their first unit across the map, then the Reaper can make it in very oftentimes. However, that's not really the plan for SouL here, as he is just gonna scout around with the Reaper for any potential proxies. He's playing it very safe. Then he wants to pop up into this area. He's probably gonna be able to scout that this is indeed a Stargate, because it is built in range of the ramp, right? Second adept is being chrono boosted out as well. Sorry, third adept is being chrono boosted out, or not chrono boosted, at least being built. He's not actually gonna go up here. Oh my god, he's gonna get in, and this is really annoying for Stats because now he's out of position. The first probe is gonna go down basically immediately. Second probe could potentially go down, but SouL realizing, hey, it might be more important for me if I actually figure out what my opponent is doing. Oh my god, he doesn't get the scout off. How does he not get the scout off? That's so odd. And the first adept here in the natural base of SouL should not be able to do too much. Got a single kill. I'm not quite sure what it was. Was that? It was an SCV. So both players get one worker, and the Reaper gets the scout off, right? Yeah, okay. So he sees straight Phoenix, which is kind of a big deal. You know, you don't have to worry about any type of Oracle. The nice thing about playing against Phoenixes is that if you scout it, you just don't get any aggressive units, and the Phoenixes, sure, they'll be able to get some type of damage, but unlike an Oracle, they can't get a lot of damage just because they're limited by their energy, and until there's 3 Phoenixes out, you generally can't do too much anyway with them, because it just takes too long to kill an SCV with 2 Phoenixes, for example. You need 3 shots, and that's a very, very long time. Okay, what's this? The third Phoenix also getting chrono boosted. Robotics facility is on the way here. We see a Reaper, a Hellion trying to move in. This is another probe that will go down, but so will the Reaper. I think SouL also managed to spot the robotics facility. I'd be surprised if he didn't. Yeah, so he's gonna be able to see, hey, this was a robotics facility. This is Phoenix. This smells, this feels, and this looks like Phoenix Colossi. And if it has all the characteristics of Phoenix Colossi, most likely it is indeed also going to be Phoenix Colossi. So there's still 3 Phoenixes on the map. I wonder what his Phoenix count is going to be. He keeps building them and he's getting an Immortal. before he gets the Robo Bay. This is something you do when you're very afraid of some type of 1-1-1 push out. So very often as a Protoss, what you're scouting for here is you're making sure, hey, when are these extra barracks coming down? How many units are being built from the starport? How many units are being built from the factory? These are important questions that you want answered. And the moment you realize, hey, he's adding these extra barracks, he stops building units from starport and factory, you want to stop building units altogether, like no gateway units, no phoenixes, preferably not even an immortal, and you want to just straight up go into Forged Twilight. You want to get a Robo Bay, maybe even add a third gateway at this point as well. We don't see that happening yet. We see 3 tech structures coming down here for stats, as stats realizes, hey, I do want to do something here. I need to get some type of tech. The moment Stim finishes, I'm gonna need a Colossi. I'm gonna need something to deal with those bio units. That's indeed what he's going for. His economy, of course, isn't brilliant either. This is the one downside of Phoenix Colossi against triple CC openers. It's just that your income, your economy, isn't quite as hot as you would like it to be. Your third base is relatively delayed because you're getting 4 gases before you build the third base, and very often you also get a crap ton of units before you get that third base, which if you think of like a 2-gate blink opener, that's not the case at all. You can just straight up get it off of 2 gas, off of maybe 2-3 gateway units and 2 Stargate units. So definitely like 1.5, almost 2-minute delay on that third base. However, you do get some map control back for it. You can fly around with the phoenixes. Perhaps you can do some damage. Where are the phoenixes actually? I haven't seen them in a while. Oh, they're in the corner. Huh. Yeah, they didn't actually get that much done. Do none of them have any kills? There's actually 0 kills on them. On all of them. None of them have any kills. Now, that should change here. I mean, it's going to be able to get both of these SCVs. We'll one-shot them, which is nice. Or one-volley them, I should say. It's gonna need to recall because there's 2 Cyclones and 2 Vikings out. Would have most likely lost the Phoenix if he tries to fly towards the left side or something like that. Especially if you don't quite know the positioning of the turrets. Some Terrans build it over here. Then you fly from the right to the left. And there's a Cyclone and a Viking shooting at you. And you end up losing like 2 Phoenixes, which really sucks. Like if you invest into 5 Phoenixes, you better get good use out of them. And it doesn't necessarily mean you need to get use out of them immediately. You just need to get use out of them eventually. So the longer you keep them alive, the more useful they will get, or the more chance you have of them getting useful. There's an observer here spotting everything that SouL is doing, and SouL's playing so passive. This is one of the things that SouL loves to do, by the way. He just likes to sit. We see continuous tank production. Now this could indicate 2 things. This could indicate that either A, he's going to be going for a big push out with 6-7 tanks and then starts building turrets and bunkers with this push. This is something that Maru loved to do when I was playing against him with a lot of Phoenix Colossi a couple of months ago. And this is something that a lot of the Korean Terrans used to like to do. I think TY also used to be a big fan of this back in the day. More recently, hasn't been that much of a thing. If you think of another thing that he can do, he could just sit and do nothing. He could get 6, 7, 8, 9 tanks, sit on 3, 4, 5 bases, and just kind of defend those. Make sure that he can't take any damage and take it really to a late game. It's very tricky to attack into a Terran with tanks, especially if they're building walls. Like, well, I'm not even sure how great this of a wall is, but I mean, a wall is a wall, and it at least is going to semi-work. So we have +2 vehicle weapons. Just +1 vehicle weapons. This looks a lot more like the vehicle weapons +1. Okay, he's gonna get +1 vehicle weapons on the way here. And yeah, this is just indicating that he's most likely going to sit tight and not do very much of anything. Stats is taking a 4th base. He is on 6 gas already, which is very nice for Stats, obviously. He's going to be able to get a lot of these more expensive gas units, Archons. He has 3 Colossi done already. And there's an Immortal in here as well. So it's a rather high quality army. There's a crap ton of Phoenixes, which... This is the one thing against Phoenixes, that if as a Terran you don't take any real damage from him, and you just play very passive, is the Phoenixes kind of feel like that supply, and sooner rather than later as a toss, you kind of want to get rid of him. But that's a lot of gas that you then have wasted in an early game that didn't really pay off in a direct way. We actually see stats moving out here on the bottom. Managed to get a bunch of workers with those Colossi swipes as well, but losing 12 workers isn't the end of the world here for SouL. He's still at 69 workers. He's on 4 bases. He has... I mean, these Marines probably could get lifted. I'm never quite sure if you want to be doing that, though. He could, but he probably would lose a Phoenix for it. It might be worth it. Honestly, not entirely sure. Okay, what is this? This looks like observer speed to me. There we go, gravitic boosters. I'm never quite sure what it looks like. The gravitic boosters and gravitic drive. I mean, they both have the word gravitic in their name as well. So, gravitic drive, of course, is for the prism, but I wouldn't blame anyone if they were wrong on that. Okay, Marine starts absolutely taking the most one-sided fight in history and not in his favor, as he dies a painful, though heroic death. You see stats continuing this game on only 6 gases. Goes up to a very high worker count, adds 8 more gateways. Okay. So he's gonna go for a very high mineral economy and a big gateway count. So this is, to me, this looks like he wants to reinforce very rapidly after taking a fight somewhere. I just don't see this happening though, because the setup of SouL is so powerful that you can't really engage or trade into this, it feels like, no? Any type of engagement you want to start or any type of run by you do, I feel like you're just throwing away units. Usually the best thing to do in these type of situations where a Terran says, hey, I'm just going to sit back and do absolutely nothing. One of the best things at Prolos you can do is that you tag rapidly into air upgrades, into a second cybernetics core. You throw them 3-4 stargates and a fleet beacon, but for this you're going to need at least 8 gas. If you want to afford that with the other things you're doing, whether that's Blink DT or if you want to add a couple of disruptors, air transitions are expensive. And the moment you start transitioning into air, you're also going to require Storm with Templar at the outside bases with their cannons, because Carriers and Tempest are great units, don't get me wrong. They're probably some of the best air units in their game, but they are extremely slow, and the problem with that is that you can't defend your outside bases, and an easy way to defend outside bases, of course, is with Storm and with Cannon. Static defense plus Storm does so well against all Terran bio units, so unless 5 tanks get dropped on your third base, which sounds rather unlikely, your single Templar, your double Templar with 4 or 5 cannons, 2-3 batteries is going to be absolutely fine, especially if you have a spotter unit ahead of it as well, so you don't get EMP'd or sniped by some random ghost. You should be kind of okay. A couple of zealots get thrown away for free. SouL says thank you. Stat says thank you as well for freeing up some of the supply. Single turrets get absolutely blasted here. There's pretty good map vision here for stats though, right? Like, this is the one thing we definitely should mention, is that he sees a lot. There's 3 observers in prime position. There's an adept over here. Well, there's a base over here on the far right. Stats making sure that he stays 1 base ahead of the curve, which I'm kind of down with that plan. What is the follow-up plan here? Okay, we see nukes coming down. That's interesting at least. Let me already practice my zoom in. So, what's happening here? A couple of phoenixes. So you still see these phoenixes alive. At this point, if you have an army that is this small, 92 army supply. Well, I mean, he could still add a couple of... He still could add 20 army supply. These are a lot of workers, that's what I'm trying to say. It's maximum gonna get 110 army supply. These phoenixes feel a little bit like dead weight at times. So it needs to be careful there, okay? Needs to be careful that he doesn't go too ham on these stacky units that don't really provide a body for his army. It's, in theory, still possible for SouL to move out. With like tanks, with like a 3-3 push. I mean, the army right now that is here for stats actually is not that great. If SouL, for example, gets some type of distraction over here and then pushes out with, what is it, 7 tanks, I don't see a way for stats to break that without losing a base. So then you'd have to give up this base, maybe even this base. Like, there's just a lot of army here that is with high DPS, and stats has a very technical army with not necessarily very high DPS, but he covers a lot of his bases, right? He has some anti-air with this, he can clear the ground with this, but he needs to be careful. Like, if he gets jumped on, he could definitely lose. a fight. I don't think that's the plan though for SouL. Uh-oh. What is this? Triple starport. We have triple starport on the way. There already was one. Okay, we have 5 starports right now. We see the Yamato cannon upgrade being researched. Level 2 ship weapons being researched as well. Does he have 3 armories? No, 2 armories. And also vehicle plating. Oh, this is the greatest thing. Like, absolutely the greatest thing. Look at Stats. Stats is looking for a nuke right now. And he's not seeing it. He's like, oh, where the heck is this stupid nuke? It's like, alright, nowhere. Fake nuke. SouL is one of the only people that I've ever seen do this consistently. SouL will just nuke random locations on the map. Like, oh, he'll throw a nuke down here, you know? Just to get the Protoss to start looking frantically at every single base. I absolutely love it. I'm not sure if it's worth it, but I think the mental anguish you get as a Protoss player is so freaking annoying. Like, it just feels awful. It just feels absolutely awful. And it's also one of those things where if you fake nuke 3 times and then you real nuke the 4th time, the TOS kind of doesn't believe it anymore, you know? So it's just one of them things where I like it, okay? I like the way that works. It's such a funny mind game. And if you're afraid of moving across the map, yeah, it can be a pretty powerful play. He just sees it. He just sees the stupid nuke. He's like, what is this nuke? Alright, gets lifted here. Definitely SouL right now should realize that there is some type of observer there. I think he already just killed it, or what happened? What happened with the observer? I think he EMP'd the observer, probably. Because I didn't see a scan go down. Okay, we have 2 battle cruisers on the way right now. There's 2 out already. Do they already have the +2 ship weapons? Yes, +2 ship weapons has finished up. What you want if you're a Terran here, okay? What you want to fly the battle cruisers in, then teleport them back. Or teleport them to a different side, basically. That is your entire game plan. It's going to be difficult to die. But it's going to be... it's also going to be very hard to kill someone. Like, you get damage over time, basically. So right now, these Zealots did a good job spotting these battle cruisers. Stats is moving forward here. Colossi, Immortal, Disruptor. Starts his Tempest production. We now have a real nuke going down. I don't understand why he has to broadcast where he's gonna nuke by scanning forward every single time, but I guess it is what it is sometimes. Does end up going down. We have a DT patrolling here. We have an observer patrolling here. They will be able to spot out these battle cruisers. I'm surprised that Stats isn't quite responding. He's getting 3 Tempest at this point. 1 Tempest. I mean, this Tempest is being rallied into his death. I mean, there's Yamato out, but he also can just actually kill it. I actually think he should have Yamato this. Could have just continued flying right next to it, in my opinion. Now, there's 1 more Tempest here, which, I mean, if he stays too close, he's also just gonna die, no? He's actually gonna take out the cybernetics core, which is pretty annoying. It's gonna... Actually, Yamato it, teleport out just in time, and this bad boy also gets teleported out in time. Level 3 ship weapons is on the way, and now we have 6 battle cruisers. So every time you start dealing with these battle cruisers, you might think like, hey, like I dealt with these battle cruisers and he needs to pay some money to repair them, but he just can keep sending them out. And Yamatos are free damage, don't forget that. Like, this is damage which you can do from a distance and you can just fly back home, no problem. Okay, this cannon is actually taking a lot of damage. These Templars should probably be careful as well. If SouL was paying attention here, he probably would have been capable of taking out a couple of Templar. Always good to just use your Yamatos before you teleport out. Yeah, there we go. Gonna get a couple of Stalker teleports out. What are these Colossi doing in the middle of the map? Where did the battle cruisers go? Okay, they're being repaired over here. 8 battle cruisers total now on the map. We still have a bunch of tanks as well, right? So Kent... The thing with Stats is that his army is not the type of army that can just move into locations, right? You can just easily take out a base. Like, it's not like his army consists of like 30 Zealots. Now, this is an army that is highly technical and doesn't actually do that well against planetary fortresses. The thing with this is as well is that... Wait, what? Oh, he's just... Okay, no, this actually makes a lot of sense. He doesn't want to have this army anymore. He realizes that in order to deal with these battle cruisers, he's gonna need a crap ton of Tempest, and he's gonna need them quickly. It's like, you know what, I need to get rid of all of those Colossi. It's gonna add 5 extra Tempest. He's gonna get a Mothership for any potential recall. So one of the ways to fight battle cruisers is that whenever they blink on top of your Tempest to Yamato you, what you can actually do is you can recall the Tempest away. So you kind of have 2 layers of your army usually. What is this? 9 battle cruisers. Another... Dude, this observer has seen so freaking much, honestly. This observer has seen so much. Look at this guy. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. He isn't even on observer mode. I know there's a fight going on, but it's just stats giving away more units. It's not that important. These TTs managed to snipe a base, which is kind of important. Oh, should probably zoom out again. Now here comes a nuke that I am really down with, because this is being guarded by battle cruisers, and this is a great way to open up cannon lines. I think he... Ooh. Is Stats looking for a potential lift up here? I don't think so. These Marauders and Marines are trying to do some damage as well. He's just flying straight in. He's like, oh, I don't give a crap. I don't give a crap. I don't give a crap. Vikings shooting, almost one-shotting these Tempests. Tempests have so little HP. Storms need to come out and help, but this is looking very, very good for SouL here. 14 workers have gone down. Sure, there's a very big bank here for Stats, but he can't just invest this bank into Stalkers. He needs to build Tempest in order to deal with these battle cruisers. And is there still Yamatos available? No Yamatos available. These Vikings, I'm not a big fan of this move forward, yeah. I mean, he takes out this base, he gets some damage on... What is the resource lost? SouL actually up in resources lost at this point, and he has a crap ton of orbitals. He has 10 orbitals. What in the world? 2 more regular bases. Oh, this is secondary planetary. This is just one of those things that's not very common. I love that he sees like 15 DTs and he's like, you know what would be a good play here? Is perhaps to just morph this into a planetary right now. I mean, this should be a cancel and a lift. Yeah, there we go. So nice one. 17 workers end up going down. The gas count for SouL is extremely low. He's trying to improve that, but it's not going to be easy for sure. Single battle cruiser saving that. What? Wait, what? Did he just blink into the main base? Oh no, SouL. Yeah, so this is one of the main things you really can do. Is I mentioned it earlier. Whenever you have battle cruisers, you need to fly in, teleport out, not the other way around. And here he teleported in, and he tries to fly out, but that's not possible because battle cruisers are too slow. So TOS units can just catch up with it, and this is a big loss. Before he was up 2k in resources lost, now he's down to, probably gonna be down 3-4k by the end of this. And most importantly, he loses all of his momentum. And he doesn't actually have the bank to rebuild either. But at the moment, oh my god, it's gonna be down like 5k almost. Okay, so this was like a minus 9k fight. And the thing with battle cruisers is that usually you keep your opponent busy. You fly in, you teleport to the other side. You Yamato, you fly out. You know? You can split up battle cruisers as well. It's very difficult for the TOS to catch on. Like, hey, what's going on here? And the moment TOS gets to start attacking you with their Tempest army, yeah, of course, you're going to be in some trouble. Now, there is a crap ton of Vikings here, and he's actually going to be able to shoot a lot of these Tempests down. Oh my god, this is a good fight here for SouL. Vikings trade so well against Tempest. It's so crazy. There is 4 battle cruisers out already again. Stats is still so far up in supply. The 150 supply here for SouL, whose mining is just looking weak as well. Now, the one nice thing here for SouL is that the moment he sets up a base, he can throw down an infinite amount of mules. He has 10 workers being built at the same time as well, which, I mean, if you want to add a couple of workers, can be pretty helpful. DT squad's doing a lot of damage here against the planetary. Well, takes it out, and also takes a bunch of SCVs with him as well. So that's kind of nice for him. 9 more SCVs on the way. I love seeing it. He builds like 2 rounds of SCVs and it's back up to 40 again from 22. 7 mark goes up to 47. Is that actually necessary? I mean, he has so many orbitals. Can't he just stay on 30 workers? What is this nuke? Oh, he probably thought there was going to be some type of aggression happening, but definitely not the case. Now, the next few fights for SouL need to be good. The problem just is that he can't fly across the map with battle cruisers. He almost needs to use them defensively, which is just kind of painful, right? another thing that SouL probably is thinking about now is getting some type of nuke to open up these positions for potential BC harass. Because if there's 5 cannons with a bunch of battle cruisers, it can be very tricky to go in there. But if you first open up that position with a nuke, you take out a bunch of the cannons, it becomes a whole lot easier. So we'll see exactly what SouL has in store here. He's gonna just fly by, realize, hey, there's a single worker here. This ain't it. Just gonna kill a cannon. It's not easy, but I think he might be able to get one of them. Nice. Yeah, that wasn't it. Not worth it. I mean, you'll need to rebuild your... or need to repair, obviously, which sucks. We have 3 more carriers on the way. Upgrades are complete for SouL. He's lacking +2 vehicle weapons. Gonna end up losing at least one of these orbitals, I think. Oh, never mind. Big boy battle cruiser shows up. We'll be able to take care of these phoenixes. Look at how little these phoenixes do to that battle cruiser. That's insane. That's actually crazy. Double attacks against a unit with this much armor is, yeah, it's just painful to watch, honestly. We see a switch, by the way, out of stats, where before he was going into mainly Tempest. Now we also see a big amount of carriers being added, probably to deal with that Viking count, because I was like, well, I'm actually losing a lot against these Vikings, and just Tempest don't really seem to cut it. That's cool, but if you're oh, this is an aggressive recall into the main base. Wow, this is so nice. This is great to see, honestly. I like this a lot. Gonna end up taking a bunch of the units. Battlecruisers teleporting forward though. Do we have a scan? Yes, we have a scan. A bunch of Yamatos going down, splitting them up nicely. I think this is an okay fight here for SouL. I don't want to say for sure, but I think this looks pretty okay now. Viking still alive? Yeah. Look, the unit loss tab is moving a lot further in the direction of where SouL wants it to be. These battle cruisers are not doing the greatest job of chasing, and these Vikings target fire wasn't absolutely brilliant either. Gonna be able to get the mothership in the dying seconds, and I think overall this was... It looked better, at least for a little bit, but it wasn't bad. And I don't even think this was a max army out of SouL. The ghosts weren't necessarily perfectly in position either. Like, in these big fights, once you get a battle cruiser army, they do very well. The problem for SouL now is that he's lacking gas. Stats is just lacking everything though, and he has no income. Oh no, did Stats lose the game? Is there still a DT squad? There's 2 DTs. There's 900 gas, there's 900 minerals. 8 carriers are being reproduced already, which is good for Stats. This means, oh, he's just going pure carrier. And at this point, pure carrier is an army that says, hey, I'm not ever going to be able to fight your battle cruisers again. This is it. This actually is it. If SouL manages to get out more battle cruisers, he will win, but he can't. He doesn't have the money for it. He does not have the gas. Just does not have the gas count. He has plenty of minerals, so he's gonna be switching back to a more bio-focused army, but that's actually perfect for Stats here, because carriers do great against that. Where did these battle cruisers teleport to? Oh, they teleported into this mineral line. We get like a semi-base trade here, where Stats is actually losing all of his mining, and SouL is also losing all of his mining. Oh my god, look at these carriers go. Another base bites the dust. These 3 battle cruisers do about the same as like 12 carriers do. Like, this is with a super battery healing it as well. That's actually insane. Holy crap. Battle cruiser DPS is so good. If they get in range of the unit, like, look how fast the base does end up going down, even with battery healing. Like, it's absolutely bananas. Now, a base does end up landing here, but the cannon spots that immediately. Stats will start moving there. There's a lot of minerals in the bank here for SouL, but as he has no gas income, the only units he's going to be capable of building are Marines. Now, Marines are great against carriers. Actually, Marines are great against carriers, but they're not great against Storm. You combine these two, and Marines really, really suck. We see a bunch of turrets going down, which I like. Makes a lot of sense, but... Oh, we need EMPs. Oh my god, massive storm on all of the Marines. Doesn't hit the EMP on all of those Templar, and he's just gonna lose his entire army, you know? Interceptor count still at 103. as SouL has to tap out. GG gets called and Stats wins a game where he kind of got gifted 12 battle cruisers for free, or 11 battle cruisers for free. If that doesn't happen, if that momentum stays on SouL's side, I think that SouL might actually win this game with mass battle cruiser camping against probably one of the best tosses in late game in the world. Fantastic little game here. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, HarstemCasts. And hit the like as well, the thumbs up button. Leave a comment down below if there's any series that you want to see. And I'll hopefully see you all next time. Bye bye.